Jake Liskow of the Locked On Bengals podcast asked us to demonstrate the physics of a 245-pound edge rusher crumpling a 360-plus pound tackle on speed-to-power rushes.
Okay.
And I think he's referring to Josh Uche putting Trent Brown on his backside.
Yeah.
And 360-plus was a light estimate there from Liskow.
I'm going to back my chair up for this one.
Yeah, let's see if we have enough space here.
So here, I'll back this up. I'll move this right here out of the way. So,
I think for a true weight difference, it should be me versus Kyle, but you guys have the better.
As an off, you're only going to see our lower halves. That's all that matters.
Correct.
Okay. So if you're going to line up here at left end, I'm the right tackle. Okay. Here's what we'll do.
I'm going to talk through what's going on here.
We'll move this. So I'm going to be, let's say I'm the right tackle. Liger's the left end.
Yeah.
And let's say that all week I've watched film of Liger being able to get to my outside edge.
Straight speed.
I can't get there fast enough, so I'm
Speed.
opening up. I'm opening up. Like I'm doing everything I can to cheat, get off the ball. Now he's seen it 5 times.
Yep.
He's seen me bail on my set, right?
Correct.
I've bailed out. I've given you the swinging gate.
For sure.
Now, what's your next move here?
I'll come in here, straight to the arm.
So I've got all my weight flying
Correct.
outside. Now,
No power.
Liger can use that weight against me. It's almost like jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
huh? It's jiu-jitsu. You're
Correct.
throwing the guy using his weight against him.
So this is what, as a defensive lineman, this is what we look at when we watch film on offensive linemen in regards to having a fastball and a changeup off of that, right? So Uche, his fastball speed. I'm gonna beat you on the edge. Use my hands, beat
And
you
that's
on the
what
edge.
I see when I close my eyes.
Chop
Speed,
club,
speed,
chop
speed.
club, chop club. So now Kyle, this is a little bit of a chess match, right? He's thinking, well, this guy keeps beating me on the edge or trying to beat me on the edge. I'm gonna overset. And
Yep.
like Kyle talked about, once you open up or overset or even open up,
Now my weight's out here.
you have no power, right?
Yep.
So either he oversets, counter club inside, right? Or he opens up, right?
Oh,
no
I pry
power.
open. That's
over his
so
chest.
when this right foot comes behind me like this, that's
Correct.
we call that stepping in the bucket as
Correct.
an offensive
Okay, I
lineman.
like that.
Imagine if you step in a bucket and somebody pushes you while your other foot's
You're
on
going
the ground.
down.
You're going to fall
You're
over.
going down,
It
yeah.
doesn't matter if you're 400 pounds. It doesn't matter if you're Hercules. If we can get you off your spot as rushers, right, Liger? That's where we want to live from
Yeah.
a speed to power standpoint.
Correct. So like again, it's a chess game, right? You want to have your fastball and then have your changeup off of your fastball because you're playing this chess match with the offensive lineman each time. Like you're setting a move up for 4 moves down the line where
Yes.
he does do that overset or he opens his chest up and he doesn't have any power on his plant leg. That's when you can go straight over a guy. That's how a guy that's 245 pounds can run over somebody that's 360.
And it's really the defensive line's version of what we were talking about with the play action game earlier. As an offensive lineman, I want to set up my next play action protection for the 4 plays prior to it in the run game. I want to show you the same thing. And now the ball's downtown Julie Brown and you're going, pass! So thank you for the question, Jake Liskow.
Great question.
And I'll
Let's
just
go.
add, that's one of the biggest reasons why when I'm watching edge rushers at the collegiate level, especially speed rushers, can they translate speed to power?
Convert it, yep.
Because
Convert
if you can't,
speed to power.
sorry, convert
It's
speed
an
to
energy
power.
source.
If you can't, OTs will just fly open on you all the time, and if
Yep.
you can't go through them, they'll just sit down on you. And for offensive tackles, why they have to be able to sit down against power and speed to
Correct.
power moves, because if you can't, you'll get it every single time, and you can't be on the football field.
And this is why you see offensive tackles trying to cheat the snap every time. Go watch the Kansas City Chiefs.
Get that
Jawan
depth.
Taylor does not want to get to the bucket standing. So what he does is he gets a tremendous jump off
Correct.
Patrick Mahomes' snap. Next thing you know, he's big and square and can cover up a rusher.
One of the best to do it, Lane Johnson.
Oh,
right?
the
And
best.
and he stays square.
Yes.
I mean, did you see his tape from this last week?
Yes, for John Garrett,
Unbelievable.
who's like one of the
I
best
can't-
bull rushers in the
I
NFL.
can't believe he's that age still doing. I mean, Trent Williams is doing it too, but still, it's just ridiculous what Lane Johnson put on tape.
These guys are just different.
different, man.
All right, great question, Jake. Next up, Nicholas Balfour asks, can Anthony Richardson learn accuracy with touch passes that sustain drives? Those bombs are epic, but seems hard to replicate too often.
This has been the concern with him, even watching his tape at Florida, right? We kind of talked about this on site in the studio the other day too, right? He can give you the home runs. He can give you the triples. It's the singles and the layups that he misses, right? To build those sustained drives. You got to hit the layups and the singles to have sustained drives. And that's where he's really struggled. Like everything is pretty. The 60-yard bomb where he's slipping, again, not many guys in the league are doing it. Maybe one or two are doing what he did with that pass to Alec Pierce. But then when you have a drag route over the middle or a dig route,
We need a strike.
Oversells the ball. Like that's where he needs to continue to work. And a little bit is footwork. And then a lot of it is him just getting game experience. This kid still has not played a lot of football. I think people tend to forget that. Even at Florida, he was banged up, missed a good portion of last year. So he needs to continue to get reps to get better.
Sometimes you see these pitchers in baseball, or, I often saw it with catchers, and it was made famous in the movie Major League. Do you guys remember the movie Major League?
For sure.
Remember the catcher, Rube, who couldn't throw the ball back to the pitcher?
Yeah, he kept running it out there and putting it in his hand.
He would have to narrate Playboy articles to get out of his own head. I'm not saying Anthony Richardson is in his own head, but what I'm saying is Anthony Richardson has 1 mile per hour in which he throws the football. He's got one speed, and he's going to rocket that thing in there. The comfort level with layering the football over some of these second-level defenders, being able to throw anticipatory routes. Like we saw Trevor Lawrence throw a touchdown the other day. He threw it over a set of 4 defenders, including Jalen Ramsey at the back of the end zone. When Anthony Richardson reaches a comfort level to where he can layer the football, I do think you'll start to be able to hit some of these touch passes. But that takes time and experience.
Here's the thing. 498 attempts is all Anthony Richardson has between college and the NFL.
That's insane.
That is not even a full college season for a lot of guys nowadays, let alone a full NFL season. So he really is scraping the bottom of the barrel from a pure having played football standpoint. So I think if a guy was inaccurate and he started for 4 years in college and 1 year in the NFL, and this is like a 6-year of football, it might be curtains for a guy like that. But I do think he's played such little football, and the high end is still so great that I think there's meat on the bone from an accuracy perspective. We saw Josh Allen is probably the poster boy for improving his accuracy. He had legitimate reasons why, though, considering his quarterback developmental history going from a JUCO to Wyoming, was 20 when he got drafted. He obviously had a unique sort of upbringing as a quarterback to get better at accuracy. Anthony Richardson was a little bit more polished in terms of where he came from high school, where he came from college, and now to the NFL. But I still think you could see some. And no one besides Josh Allen has completely changed their stripes in that regard. But it won't take much for Richardson, right? If he's just,
I'm not
the worst in the NFL, not the worst in the NFL accuracy, because what I saw was probably.
And you add to the fact that he is the best runner and the best athlete and probably the biggest, baddest dude on any field that he's on, outside of maybe DeForest Buckner, who is, an avatar in his own right. But this guy, Anthony Richardson, provides those mismatches that are just priceless for a coach. And Shane Steichen loves it. And he can, I'm sure, live with some of these misses early but he says develop, and we're going to be just okay.
Right.
So I think you'll see improvement. Obviously, he's never going to be Joe Burrow, but I think you'll see improvement from him as his career develops.